application. So I best wishes, and I hope you have a great week after this. Yeah. So let's get into what's going on with the website. The app. I experienced multiple issues, and I don't know if it's because Xcode is in beta or that because this Mac is really old and slow. Um, but yeah, there was issues, and I'm actually on the 10th version of the app I've built because I would close the screen and go take a break or, go to bed, and I'd get back to my desk, and the app would be completely messed up. Things I had done would be deleted, or files would be resized and giving me errors and unwilling to resize themselves back to where I had them. So I've had a really long struggle with this program, and then when finding tutorials with 8, because most of the tutorials, even for 7, have me do steps that don't apply in 8 because those buttons or the code language is not there or not functional or completely simplified, taken out. They simplified Swift language, um, so it's more like Cliff's Notes of Swift than it was regular Swift. So between 7 and 8 on Xcode, the programming language is completely changed. There's no tutorials that tell you exactly how to deal with 8. I've only found 3 videos that say, oh, look at all the great updates of 8. Isn't this fantastic? Here's some tips and tricks. But nothing that says, here's a new way to attach your database. Here's a new way to create segues, which is basically their word for wireframe. Here's a new way to resize and pin images. Nothing that says that because it is different than the tutorials. And the Apple Xcode database tutorials themselves are still back in 5 and 6 versions and showing pictures of stuff that doesn't exist in 8. So yeah, it was elegantly not fun. um, so here we are. I finally found workarounds and figured things out on my own, and gotten a lot of sleep. I've been trying to get to bed on time, even though I can't sleep past 1 or 2 in the morning. So I just get back up and go to work. Um, so yeah, so here we are. Here's the database. You've been staring at this lovely screen. And if we go over here, we're going to need a second database to hold the salon information. I'm going to do that after a quick break, after I do this video. So the first database, I don't know how Mill had it, but I did this one so there's a pendant ID, so auto increment means the database is automatically going to append numbers based on the first person to sign up, which is me. It takes their first name, their last name, their password, their phone number, the card number, expiration date, CV, a date and time stamp when they signed up, account permissions, so almost everybody signs up as an A, email activation is set up, and it collects their email address. Looking through here, I think I need a third database for their profile information, and that's going to be easy to do because I just think it should be stored somewhere separately. Probably not even stored on a database, probably just stored within the environment of the app, which would be much easier because it would be stored on their phone, and there'd be less information having to travel over the internet. So yeah, here's the database. And if we go over to the wireframe, this is a picture of what Xcode page looks like that I'm working on. And mind you, this looks very large. The screen I'm working on is like 10 inches by 8 inches. It's really tiny. And there are 3 editing modules. There's 2 over here and 1 over here. And sometimes a 4th one that pops up here. So I basically have about 1 of these to work with, about that big, for all of this. So, mind you, there's a lot of zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out to get this done. These marks right here on the background is the wireframe, and they basically tell, it's called a segue. Each of these points is something I click on, and then I go and drag it over to a window where coding goes, and tell the code what the segue, this line is supposed to do. For now, basically all the line says is the button here, or the button here, the button here. Eventually we'll go to that page, or that page, or that page. So it basically just takes you back and forth, but it doesn't actually work. So I can't show you the preview um, in a window because it will not show up until these buttons are done. It'll just come up to the navigation controller and be blank, which is fun because I can't really see how this is going to work. Unlike Photoshop or Muse, where you can lock pages down when you're done editing and then add other elements or have um, multiple things going on each page, it, it doesn't work quite that way. There's a stacked controller, but the stacked controller is really, really buggy. So what I did to create these are all screenshots of your mock-ups. I did figure out that your mock-ups were Photoshop files that were editable, so I just opened them up and it had me change the font a little bit, um, which I'd like to discuss with you today, if or tomorrow when you get a chance, and for a future update we can switch it back to Avenir. Possibly if you have Avenir on any of your computers, we can now share it across the Macs. I can see your files, I did not look at them, but if you drop something in there and I knew I was supposed to look for something particular, I would pull it from there, and it would be a TTF file. So if you could scan your computer for a .ttf file, and you should probably find an Avenir or a bunch of fonts that you could copy and put it into a zipped folder and pass over to me, and I could possibly download Avenir into Photoshop and into the app, so all this can be done on your lovely Avenir font styles you want. As far as having it bolded or semi-bolded or italics, we can change that in next week's update when we put it out. As soon as this is completely coded, I will send it over to you. But I won't be making any more changes until probably Sunday after I get the salon site done. That being said, each of these still works. Even though this is a picture, what I did is I dropped their little boxes over the top of it and made them transparent. So each of these still works over here, and all I need to do is, once I've coded each of these blocks, which some of them are finished coding, then I pin them to a page in a certain way, and I can't align them to center or align them left. They actually pin to each other in a really weird way. Like, if I were to move something after pinning it, it would tell me that there's an error, and it will move it back. So I have to wait till it's all completely done, and then each of the little boxes, like there's a box here, that's a button, and these are buttons, and this blue is because I've put a placeholder here to show me there's a button there. Each of these little buttons has to be done at the end, has to be formatted at the end to the page, so that way it knows to be exactly this many pixels away from this, and exactly this many pixels from here, and from here, and from here. It's a really weird way they have to do it. It's complicated. It's caused me to have to delete whole pages and whole apps because I didn't realize that if you did them all and then went to code them or went to edit something, or you saved the program and you got up the next day and something moved itself, that the entire page would become corrupted and have to be redone. So yeah, that's a fun thing I've been working with. As far as coding it, Swift is extremely straightforward. It is the most straightforward language that I've had to deal with. It's probably the most mathematical language I've had to deal with, and it's basically instead of having long strings of this underscore slash that underscore slash this, and it's basically you say it to do this. It's very much like Perl. It's very much like a very elegant form of Perl, and I know that means nothing to you, but Perl is so simple, and it's so clear and crisp. Like, there's no gray areas, like, oh, there's, you write this, oh, did you mean this or thinking that? No, there's exactly, it says, hey, this does this, and this connects to that, and that connects to that, and that's the end of the string, and that's basically what it does. So a lot of this will be written in Swift, and it's going to make it so much easier to just get it done. This is the map, by the way. I took and made this a transparent background, so this whole thing is on top of a map view. A couple of suggestions I have, and I don't know if I'll have time to do them, but on the loading screen, which is can't be seen here because it's a different page, because this is considered one big page. The loading screen, I'd like to put one of those wheels that shows it's working, and I like to have those as pop-ups on these pages. So like if they put in their login information here, it pops up that little loading screen and then takes them somewhere. And here it pops up the loading screen and then takes them somewhere. And I think that would make it easier to know that your app didn't freeze, because the people would see something happening and they wouldn't assume, well, the app is not working. Because I've done that and really messed things up. Let's see. Oh, as far as this goes, this is fine for now. I was thinking when they click on this, a pop-up will pop up that says enter your email address and a new password will be reset to you. Thing is I don't know how to have it auto reset the password from PHP without using some password company like Firestorm or something. So if it does that, I think it's going to have to email one of us to go in and manually reset the password. And if that's okay with you, that's fine with me. We can verify their information. So it would send the email, and myself or my husband, who does this for a living, who resets passwords or used to reset passwords for government agencies, could just manage that. Like, an email is sent to them, they verify all their information, and it goes in and changes the password and sends it back to them until I've coded some system or we purchase a third-party system that automatically does all of that for you. So yeah. And anyway, I think that's all I have to say for today. A lot of the work, once this is done, a lot of the work and a lot of the things I needed to learn or figure out or find tutorials for, I have for the salon side, and it's mostly just going to be appending data frames and making sure they're set right and they look right, and then connecting the dots. For that, I will be able to go back and work on my PC, which is a lot faster than my Mac, despite being a very old computer. So it'll go much faster, hopefully easier than this. I will have to work in Muse and Dreamweaver simultaneously, so that is something else. But yeah, once this goes live, I think Thursday morning is a safe bet for this. It'll go into alpha, which means it'll be private just for people at the company, and it gives me, you and the team can go in and start creating accounts. I can give you admin rights, and you can start playing with, looking at it and seeing if the data's working correctly, and maybe bring me a list of items to fix on Sunday. Hopefully there's nothing major, and then I could try to get it out before then. I'm really hoping we have a day or two to also play with the salon software over the weekend. But if that doesn't happen, I think people would be understanding if they come and things aren't aligned perfectly, or something needs to hot fix by the following Monday. So yeah, so that's what's going on. Once again, congratulations. I hope you had a safe trip home, and I look forward to talking to you. If you're really busy today, and I understand you will be, don't worry about it. Contact me tomorrow, maybe on Thursday, and let me know your thoughts. And I'm hoping that you can see this before then, and let me know what's going on in your mind. So take care and have a great day.